Here we are back on the Pinto today. As you can see here on the bottom of it, I'm pretty much through with it. I have all the patching done, I have the seam sealer on it, and I have a coat of undercoat on it. Today I'm going to be removing the rack and pinion and all the suspension stuff here on the front end. I want to get it all off, get it cleaned up, get it painted, and see what I need to make it functional again. We're also going to be working inside the engine compartment. Right here, I'm going to get all this cleaned up. I'm going to get the battery box rebuilt and fabricated, or get this cleaned up. I'm gonna get a coat of paint on it and get it ready for the motor. I want to thank today's sponsor, Super Clean, for sending me some product. This one right here is the one I'm most excited about. This right here says it'll do brakes, grills, and engines. We'll get to use some of this stuff further in the video. All right, I've got it this far and I didn't show everything because, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. But I got the coil spring out there, and the way I did it, I used one of these. This is a coil spring compressor, but you'd normally use two of them on the outside of the spring. Well, I used it on the inside, so I had to come back through the shock hole. So I had to cut some metal out down there in the bottom of the battery where the battery will be, come up through the shock hole with my coil compression tool. I got one of the cleats here, and the other cleat is at the bottom of where the top of the shock would be. Let's see if I can get one of these ball joints loose. And got that out. I got the bottom ball joint knocked loose, and I'm fixing to work on the top ball joint. The thing about these ball joints is they're riveted on. I know there's aftermarket ones that bolt on, so that's what I'm gonna have to wind up doing. Well, okay, I got it off of there. I didn't have the video running, I probably should have, but basically this was on there. I was able to get the cotter key out of the nut. I was able to get that broken loose, and then the dilemma was how to get this ball joint separated from this knuckle here. I guess that's what you call this thing. So I was able to get this on there to pop that loose. This would not fit on the bottom one when I did that. I just took a hammer and beat it out of there. But anyway, that's got that. Now what I have to do is get my battery box repaired and get this all cleaned up and primed. We have these two items from Super Clean. According to what they clean, they look very, very similar, so I'm gonna give them both a shot. We're right here in the engine compartment of this Pinto. This area is not real greasy, but it is dirty. I'm gonna do a test here, and then I'm gonna move on to something much harder way down in there. Let's see how this first spray bottle does. Let it set for a second. It says to rinse it. I assume you rinse it with water or something, but I don't have any water handy, so I can see though that looks like that did a pretty good job. We're gonna move into this area here. Now I'm gonna spray the spray bottle on that, spray the aerosol on that. That area is not terribly bad, but you can see some grease and stuff lying in there. That wasn't bad at all for the first try. Well, the second attempt brought it back to almost like it was from the factory. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm impressed. Now we're going to this cross member right here. That's 53 years worth of dirt and grime built up on that cross member. I'm not going to even try to clean it with a spray until I scrape off the worst part of it. Okay, you can see I've got it scraped down there. I'm going to use the aerosol can, the foamy stuff. I'm going to spray it on there and let it set for a few seconds. You can kind of see it lifting the grease some. All right, that's probably 30 seconds or so. Let's just see. Right now it's just a greasy.
Later.
Well, I got distracted when the battery died and I went ahead and did some more cleaning. Let me show you what it looks like. Now that's the cross member that I was working on when the battery died. That was really caked up with old grease, had been on there for over 50 years. You can see that cleaned up really well. I got all this cleaned up too, just using the Super Clean spray, and I did find that if you'll use some water to rinse it away, it helps a whole lot. But this looks really, really good. I also cleaned some on the other side and it did a great job. I took the time to cut out all the rust and rebuild the battery compartment area. All right, we're gonna do some cleaning in this area right here now. Now a lot of that is rust, so I don't expect this Super Clean to do anything to it, but we're gonna see what we can do with that area. But to do that, I'm gonna flip the car over to the other side. Let's give this a shot here. I use a little wire brush here just to help it cut down into that stuff. That looks pretty good. Okay, all the cleaning I've done in this area right here was only done using this Super Clean. Normally I would use stuff that would be questionable, or sometimes I might use gasoline or kerosene or spirits. So this is really safe to use. I've got all this cleaned up. I've got 99% of the grease off. I'm gonna do a little bit of sanding and get the rest of the surface rust off, and then I'm gonna prime this thing. I had a decent amount of rust in some areas that I can't really get to. It's pitted in some places and I can't get the rust out of there. So I used some of this rust cutter. After I let it dry a little bit, I'm gonna go back and wipe off all the excess. This stuff takes forever to dry and I don't want to give it forever. Well, I've sanded all I'm going to sand right now. I think I've got it in pretty good shape. There's still some spots that I can't get to. Like I said earlier, this car is going to have some rust in it no matter what I do. So anyway, I'm going to slap some primer on it, and then I'll probably have to sand it again, put another coat of primer. Well, there it is, primed. Is it perfect? Heck no. Is it better than it was? Heck yes. Can even see a number right there. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I really thank you for taking the time to watch it this far. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, liking, and hitting the bell icon so that you can be made aware of future videos. I have a lot of things going on with this car. I'm not stopping. I have some new parts here already. I work on this thing almost daily. I know my videos don't come that often, but it takes a lot of time to do some of the stuff I'm doing. So again, please consider subscribing and tapping the bell icon so that you don't miss any of the updates that I do. Again, thank you for watching, and until I see you again, may God bless you, and I hope you have a great week.